World Championship Wrestling challenged WWE's monopoly of the wrestling business in the 90s. The company featured some of the top wrestling names in its roster, and its newer, edgier content was giving WWE a run for its money. So much so that the then WWE chairman Vince McMahon was forced to devise the Attitude Era to thwart the Turner Broadcasting-owned organization. The Monday Night Wars, featuring WWE's Monday Night Raw and WCW Nitro, was a fierce competition between the two promotions to gain ascension in the wrestling world. As often seen, WWE outlasted its rival promotion and bought WCW in 2001, ending the war once and for all. WWE has hired many top WCW talent since. In this video, we rank the 13 high-profile WCW exports to WWE based on their WWE career.
But other than that, did not twist my arm. Ooh, nice move, DDP!
Starting off at number 13, Diamond Dallas Page. There's little doubt that Diamond Dallas Page has had the worst WWE career of any highly rated previous WCW star. Being a Triple Crown champion in WCW, the excitement was palpable when Dallas debuted in WWE. He was pitted against one of the best in the company at the time, against The Undertaker no less. The only problem, the New Jersey native was given a stalker gimmick, a far cry from his WCW days. Any guesses who was his victim? Yes, you guessed it right. It was Taker's then-wife, Sarah. The character assigned to Dallas took out any possibility of having a stellar feud with a Phenom. A rivalry that had so much promise turned out to be a dud. And so did DDP's WWE career, so much so that Sarah would end up pitting him in a singles match. It was so disappointing, as he could surely have had a main event run and could have spent more years of his life in the wrestling business. Alas, it wasn't to be in the Stanford-based company, as after a futile run that didn't even last a year, Page had to announce his retirement due to a legit injury he sustained during a match with Hardcore Holly in 2002. However, this was not the end of his in-ring career, as he entered the world of TNA for nearly a year. After a career in the independent circuit, he made occasional appearances in WWE and even marked his presence in AEW. Nowadays, Page runs a successful yoga training business. One can't help but ponder over the question, what could have been?
But look at this!
Next up, Sting. Sting was arguably the best wrestler that WCW had ever produced. Hence, when WCW was bought by WWE in 2001, his arrival to the company was considered a foregone conclusion. However, the Stinger did not appear in a WWE ring until 2014, when he was way past his prime wrestling phase. In a 2007 interview, he cited his former WCW colleagues' mistreatment by the Stanford-based promotion as the reason behind his reluctance to join them. Instead, he joined a newer promotion, TNA, in 2003 and won the TNA World Heavyweight Championship 4 times during his time there. Sting finally debuted in WWE in the 2014 Survivor Series, leaving the crowd shell-shocked and picking up a feud with the authority figure, Triple H. Their rivalry would go on for months and culminate in an overbooked match at WrestleMania 31, which had appearances from D-Generation X and the NWO. The match was won by the Game, and Sting couldn't make the kind of impact he would have made if the match had taken place a decade prior. He didn't get many opportunities to showcase his wrestling prowess in a WWE ring either, as he suffered from a potentially career-threatening injury in a match against then WWE Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins, bringing curtains to the Vigilante's in-ring career in WWE. He did find his way back between the ropes during his 3-year run in AEW as a mentor for Darby Allin, before finally hanging up his boots in early 2024. The man called Sting was a top wrestling star in the 90s, regardless of the company he was employed by. While fans' dream of seeing their hero step into a WWE ring did get fulfilled, it was a decade or so later. Next up, Dustin Rhodes, aka Goldust. The son of the legendary wrestler The American Dream Dusty Rhodes, He began his wrestling career in 1988 with WCW. Dustin Rhodes also had a brief stint at WWE in 1990, but it lasted for months before he reverted to WCW in 1991. The Bizarre One stayed there for 4 years before rejoining the Vince McMahon-led promotion, this time as Goldust. While he put in all his effort and was also appreciated by fans, his career failed to reach the heights previously expected. Rhodes' WCW career wasn't great, but it was still better than his time with the WWE. He had almost 5 stints with WWE, the last of which ended in 2019. The Natural then joined his brother Cody Rhodes, who co-founded AEW in 2019, and has stayed there since. He has had a decent time in a Jacksonville-based promotion and had some acclaimed matches while there. Still, his subpar WWE career has left much more to be desired.
Look at that! Look at that! You have a reason to love yourself!
Up next, Lex Luger. When Lex Luger arrived in WWE in 1993, he was billed as the company's next big star. And after the organization's biggest draw, Hulk Hogan, left, Luger's push as the top guy was just a matter of time. The wrestler boasted of supreme physique and aura, some necessary qualities in a wrestling company's face. The only problem? Luger was relatively limited in his ring work. While some argue that Hogan wasn't the best in the ring either, his theatrics made up for whatever he lacked in his wrestling ability. Sadly, for the American original, that was not the case. The WWE did go hell for a letter to make him a popular name in the USA, but the company developed cold feet when the time to push Luger arrived. Though he won his WrestleMania 10 match against Yokozuna by disqualification, the champion advantage meant that the WWE title did not change hands. The muscular performer soon returned to WCW in 1995 and remained there till it went defunct. Luger came close to achieving WWE immortality, but fell short in his pursuit. Up next, The Giant, aka Big Show. Big Show, or The Giant as he was called in WCW, started his career there in 1995. After spending almost 4 years at the Turner Broadcasting-owned company, he jumped ship to WWE in 1999. Show would stay in the organization for the better part of 2 decades. He won both the WWE title and the World Heavyweight title twice during his time there. Dubbed the world's largest athlete, he was a part of many iconic WWE storylines, but as luck would have it, he was almost always a supporting star in the company and seldom a main star. Nevertheless, Show's 500-pound-plus frame was often enough to turn heads. He made a late career switch, joining rival promotion AEW in 2021, and has remained there since. The super heavyweight grappler had a memorable time with the WWE, but not as great as some of its previous peers from WCW. At number 8, Booker T. Booker T was an acclaimed wrestler in WCW, having shown in the tag team division and singles competition. He won the WCW Tag Team Championship 9 times as part of the iconic Harlem Heat, and the WCW World Heavyweight Championship an impressive 5 times. Booker's introduction to the world of WWE in 2001 wasn't ideal. A combination of lackluster booking by Vince McMahon and the wrestler's failure to forge an instant connection with the fans could be the reasons. However, the former WCW television champion soon won over the fans with his impressive ring work and hilarious antiques. He won the 2006 King of the Ring tournament and proclaimed himself as King Booker afterward. Booker also captured the World Heavyweight Championship for the first time that same year. The organization granted his request for departure from WWE in 2007. After having a 3-year stint in TNA, he rejoined the wrestling juggernaut in 2011, this time as a part-time wrestler and a commentator. Booker's WWE career failed to take off compared to his WCW career. Irrespective of that, he is a certified wrestling legend.
Him around the ring. The spear! The second spear!
Up next, Goldberg. Goldberg was never the most gifted performer in a wrestling ring, but not many could come close to the sheer intensity and impact that he brought to the table. When the news broke that WCW's resident demolisher was to debut in WWE in 2003, the wrestling fans couldn't hold their excitement. Goldberg also started with aplomb, becoming a thorn in the Evolution's path and entering a feud with Triple H. However, his failure to perform in long-form matches proved to be his downfall. The Myth flattered to deceive during his first WWE run and left abruptly after WrestleMania 20 in 2004. He shockingly returned to the company in 2016 and had a blockbuster rivalry with Brock Lesnar. Goldberg even went on to win the WWE Universal title during his part-time gig, but he was a figment of his past brutal self now and failed to capture the fans' imagination. Ultimately, Goldberg's WWE career didn't even reach half the potential that his time in WCW had promised. At number 6, Rey Mysterio. The biggest little man of the wrestling industry, Rey Mysterio has had the most improbable story of any wrestler ever. Standing at a meager 5'6" and weighing a lowly 170 pounds, many wouldn't have taken a punt on him for having a bright future in the industry. However, Mysterio went against all odds, starting from his WCW days, and came into his own during his 2-decade-long run in WWE, which is continuing to date. Breaking the stereotypical mold of an ideal WWE wrestler was challenging, particularly when the roster was loaded with one generational talent after another. But the San Diego native was able to stand out amidst greatness through his immaculate ring work. He even won the World Heavyweight Championship twice and the prestigious WWE title once. Mysterio did not look back after joining WWE in 2001, and his stellar work over the years earned him a WWE Hall of Fame induction in 2023. It's safe to say that the luchador had an illustrious career with a Stanford-based promotion and would have ranked even higher in the list of WCW exports to WWE if not for the greatness of the other performers on this list. At number 5, Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero was a well-traveled grappler before joining WCW, as he regularly competed in Japan-based NJPW until 1996. It was then that he joined the Turner Broadcasting-owned promotion and stayed there till it went out of business in 2001. The Latino Heat is known for creating the notorious faction LWO during his WCW days. No one expected him to succeed when he debuted in WWE in the early 2000s. Guerrero's first run with the company was cut short when he was let go from his contract in November 2001 due to a case of drunk driving. It was his second stint with the wrestling juggernaut that changed the perception of fans about him. El Caliente was always an exceptional worker in the ring. He combined it with tremendous character work and became a fan favorite in no time. Guerrero reached the pinnacle of excellence in WWE when he won the organization's top prize, the WWE title, by beating Brock Lesnar at No Way Out in 2004. When he looked set for a long and rewarding career with WWE, tragedy struck as he was found dead in his hotel room in 2005, bringing an abrupt end to a career that could have achieved so much more. Nevertheless, Guerrero's contributions to the wrestling world can never be forgotten. What he achieved in a short span of 4 to 5 years in WWE is an unfulfilled dream for many performers.
Raw is Jericho!
Next up, Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho is an absolute legend of the wrestling business. He has been a part of many rosters in a career that has spanned 4 different decades. After a brief stint in ECW, Jericho joined WCW in 1996 and built the reputation of an accomplished performer. His slick in-ring movement and innovative moveset quickly made him the talk of the town. It was only a short time before WWE came calling, and he joined the company in 1999. Jericho debuted with a unique Y2J gimmick and proclaimed himself as WWE's savior upon his arrival. The Canadian's initial years in the organization were groundbreaking as he beat The Rock and Stone Cold on the same night to become the first ever undisputed WWE champion. Jericho remained a significant name on the wrestling juggernaut's payroll until he departed from WWE in 2018. The Lionheart set a trend by joining the then-new wrestling promotion AEW, and many WWE stars from past and present followed suit soon after. Jericho still competes in the Jacksonville promotion and is a major attraction even at 53. Y2J's move from WCW to WWE turned out to be a massive hit, boosting both his career growth and the fans' love for him. Next up, Cactus Jack, aka Mick Foley. There may never be another Mick Foley, such was his impact on the wrestling industry. He was a part of the WCW roster as far back as 1989, when he had a year-long stint in the company. After a year away in All Japan Pro Wrestling, he joined WCW again in 1991. Foley's association with the TBS-owned company lasted 3 years. Apart from the WCW tag title ones with Kevin Sullivan, he didn't win anything notable while there. The hardcore legend came to his own when he joined ECW and embraced his extreme persona. He was the perfect foil for the Philadelphia-based promotion, which thrived on extreme carnage. 1996 was finally the year when Foley joined the big leagues as he debuted in WWE. Dude Love, Cactus Jack, and Mankind were the three personas he used during his time with the company. He was a unique performer to what WWE had on offer then, as Foley's daredevil attitude and his nous in portraying three personas impressed fans greatly. On top of that, some insane spots in his matches, like falling from the top of the Hell in a Cell structure, captivated everyone. The Deranged One even won the WWE title 3 times, etching his name in the company's folklore forever. Foley is undoubtedly a hugely successful export from WCW to WWE, hence he features so high on this list. Number 2. Stone Cold Steve Austin. We rarely encounter a once-in-a-lifetime superstar akin to Stone Cold Steve Austin. He is arguably the biggest WWE superstar ever. However, even his origins in the wrestling industry can be traced back to WCW. Austin joined the Turner Broadcasting's promotion in 1991 as Stunning Steve Austin. After a decent stint that saw him winning the tag team titles, the television, and the United States Championships, he left for pastures new in 1994. The Rattlesnake had a brief run in ECW before landing in WWE and first competing there as the Ringmaster. Not many would have predicted the monumental future he would have with the company. Austin soon completely changed his persona as he shaved his head and started calling himself Stone Cold Steve Austin. Then came the iconic moment that elevated his stature in WWE overnight. After winning the 1996 King of the Ring tournament, he delivered a shoot promo to his opponent in the final, Jake the Snake Roberts. He coined the iconic phrases Austin 316, and that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so. At that very moment, 6 reigns as the top dog WWE champion followed, as Austin cemented his legacy in the company. A neck injury forced him to retire from in-ring competitions in 2003, but not before leaving an indelible mark in the wrestling circles. He is undoubtedly one of the best WCW exports ever to enter WWE.
Oh my God!
And topping our list at number 1, The Undertaker. Who would have thought WCW's Mean Mark Callis would become one of the biggest WWE superstars ever? That is what happened, as after a year-long stint in the WCW, a little-known Mark Calloway debuted in the WWE as The Undertaker in 1990. A seemingly simple career move changed the landscape of the wrestling industry forever. Any other wrestler could have failed miserably in portraying the supernatural gimmick, but not Taker. He embraced the unique character wholeheartedly, so much so that Mark Calloway and The Undertaker became one and the same. Fans were awed by the mystique surrounding the Phenom, as his otherworldly presence always enchanted them. He upped his in-ring work over the years and became virtually unstoppable. Taker's record-breaking 21-match winning streak in WrestleMania is the best sports entertainment streak ever. His matches, especially against Shawn Michaels and Triple H at the Show of Shows, have been proclaimed as all-time classics. The dead man's 3-decade-long run in WWE was laden with gold, as he won the WWE title 4 times and won the World Heavyweight Championship thrice. Taker's career ended when he rode into the sunset after defeating AJ Styles at WrestleMania 36. There can be little doubt as to The Undertaker's credentials being the greatest WCW export to WWE ever. Marvel's verdict. It's often said that change is the only constant. The ones who do not adapt or evolve with time usually perish sooner or later. That was the case with WCW, a company that forced the global wrestling phenomenon WWE to up its game, but did not possess a long-term vision to topple the Stanford-based promotion. Instead, the company focused on the short term and paid a hefty price. While some of WCW's exports to WWE turned out to be duds, some were the best names competed in the promotion ever.